Vish, great to have you on our program, The Business Detective. To begin, what was your key driving force to become entrepreneur?
Thank you, Dinesh. Thanks for giving me this opportunity. Driving force to becoming an entrepreneur is because I wanted to give something back to Sri Lanka. I wanted to do something different, wanted to come back to Sri Lanka and do something great that I can give back to the Sri Lankan society at large. And that's what drove me to become an entrepreneur.
Whose career really inspires you and why?
There are multiple people's career, but one that comes to mind is my elder brother, who's the founder of Sunshine Holdings, who created this great organization way back in 1969 as a small pharmacy in the town of Gampala. It was a 750 square feet pharmacy that catered to just about the entire upcountry at that time. I mean, these guys were the real entrepreneurs. So he has driven us to be where we are today as a conglomerate listed in the Colombo Stock Exchange in the top 50 list of LMD. I can't think of anybody better than that. That motivates me every day.
Talk about some of the milestones you have achieved.
Yeah, so like I said, we are 55 years old this year. Having started as a small pharmacy, went into candy in the early 70s. And at that time, pharmaceuticals were controlled and done only by the government at that time. Somehow, the then SPC appointed us as a distributor. So my brothers used to actually drive a van to every doctor in the island and drop off the medicine to them, because as you remember those days, the dispensary is what they call. The doctors actually dispensed medicine. There was really no pharmacy as such. So that's how it began. And then in the 80s, when more opening up of the economy, we got many of our principals today that we represent, such as Johnson & Johnson, Abbott Laboratories, Novo Nordisk, who is the single largest insulin maker in the world, Cadila, Zydus from India, Glenmark. These are very, very large pharmaceutical companies that we represent, including 3M of the US. So those relationships have started to get us where we are. And then because of the family's close interest in the tea community, when the government privatized the initially for management and then privatized in 92 and 96, being a small company, we were able to join hands with a big giant, the Tatas of India. And that's basically the perseverance of our founder. He was able to convince them that we are a genuine partner. We may not have a big name, but we are a genuine partner for you. And that's how that partnership began. And of course, today, we control or have the largest market share in the branded tea market in Sri Lanka, selling over 5.5 million kilos of branded tea, having over 45% of the Sri Lankan branded tea market. So then, we have grown from there. Today, we also are in confectionery, large player in the confectionery market. We are in dairy. We produce fresh milk in a country that is starving for fresh milk. We produce something like 25,000 liters of fresh milk. So these are giant leaps at every single time. And we always felt we are a company that is a nation builder. Our retail pharmacy chain, Healthguard, one of a kind. There was no real organized pharmacy in this country. So we have 25 strong pharmacies today in the Western province. And that's something that we'd like to expand. So yeah, many milestones. We've tied up with Tata's in their communication company here called Tata Communication Lanka, which brings wholesale. We have an investment there. We have a relationship with the Taj Hotel. Mostly we have grown through relationships and partnerships.
Okay. Vish, as a company, what do you do to get the right people on the bus?
So, acquiring talent starts with me as the group managing director. We are always looking for talent and we groom talent. Most of our talent, when you see, usually comes from within. And we are looking for people who, yes, it's very important to know or have knowledge of the subject, etc. But in today's context, values is very important. You have to live the sunshine value. Having trust, being resilient. We never say no. There is no answer no in our group. So those are the values that we look for. So we work very hard to showcase ourselves, do the right thing. We don't engage in corrupt practices. It's something that we learned from the Tatas. We have missed many opportunities, Dinesh, because we just didn't want to take that route of corruption. We have always held our head above water, and we may not be growing at the size of some of the others, but I can say honestly, and my people know that we are doing the right thing every day, and that's why the people that we have are with us.
Okay. What are some of the potential mega trends that could derail your business model?
I think we have to get on the digital world. We are a bit slower than we should be, but we are fast tracking on that. We also need to go overseas. We can't be reliant on a business that is reliant on just 20 million people. We need to look outside. We are a little slow on that. We need to do more export. We are again reliant on the domestic business. So we have just purchased a export business in tea. So those are the things that if I say that keeps me up at night.
Okay. And what is your CSR philosophy for the group?
CSR philosophy, again, it's in our DNA. We have what we call Sunshine Foundation. We have picked two disciplines that we work on our CSR, and that is health and education. Because being a large health player, we feel that's something that we need to do more. And we have been doing a lot of work in bringing fresh water to some of the villages who have been struggling to get water. So we have done about 20-25 plants of RO plants to bring water. We spend a lot on educating the youngsters. And recently we have joined hands with various people in coming up with a program called Suadivya. And this is about not cure for diabetes, but changing of lifestyle. I don't know if you know, 10 or 15% of Sri Lankan population is diabetic. And a lot of our youngsters who are below 20 are diabetic. It's because their lifestyle. So we are going out there and saying to them, you don't need to, wait till you get sick, but change your lifestyle today, right? If you do that, maybe, and be aware of diabetes, it's a silent killer. So that's what we do. So those are all part of our CSR plan. And whenever the country needed us, be it a tsunami, be it a COVID, we are always there first online to help the country.
Okay. How does the company look at succession planning?
The board is very critical on succession plan. There is every senior person has a number two already identified. And if not, there is already somebody being groomed all the time. The head of HR's full-time job is to make sure if I drop dead tomorrow morning, there will be somebody within that can take over the company and not miss a beat. So that's something that we work on every day.
Okay. What are the personality traits a leader should have to be successful in the current context?
I think I mentioned to you before as well. I think a good leader has to be honest and need to communicate well with your team, tell them the truth. And, I talked about resilience. We can't give up. There are difficult times. So currently, Sri Lanka is going through some time that you and I have probably never seen in our lifetimes. So you as a leader cannot buckle down. You have to lead from the front. Of course, you need to know, a path. You need to have a path, done before you go through that path. So those are the leadership qualities, but always speak the truth. People want the truth and people want communication from you as their leader.
Okay. My final two questions. Question number one is, what would you like your legacy to be?
My legacy to be is, if I were to be remembered to be as a person who always spoke the truth, a person, probably brought good things to life to the Sri Lankan people.
Okay. Given that we are facing the worst economic crisis since independence, what can chambers do to bring stability back?
Chambers have been lobbying continuously, as you're aware. We have got the joint chambers working because it's not one chamber. We have many chambers today. And even though we all have different agendas, we have come together in a cause and we are lobbying to make sure certain decisions are made. And it's basically speed. We have lacked speed during this time. The decision makers have lacked speed, and we are pushing to make sure the speed at which we do things need to change. So if we get that, I think we have come to a place where we are finally open to IMF. So now there are a few steps to do before you get to IMF, and we are pushing them to do that. And maybe there'll be some light at the end of the tunnel.
Okay. And my final question to you is, as a private sector boss, what is your expectations from the government?
Private sector, we don't ask for any handouts, but just make our playing field even and make sure that the basic utilities, safety, etc. are given so that we can do our business without always going and knocking on their doors. We shouldn't be having to go to meet anyone to get anything done. In this digital world today, everything should be digitized. There's no need for me to go meet anyone to get anything done. If they keep doing their job, then our world will be a lot easier.
Okay. And given the stress that most of your members are going through currently, what would your parting advice be for them?
Patience, I suppose. In this time, that's the only thing that we can have, because the people's anger is running high. So we need to ride through this. Patience is the only thing that will get us through this.
Okay. Thank you, Vish. Great talking to you.
Thank you very much, Dinesh. Have a good evening.